The ASH-12 is a 12.7mm bullpup battle rifle recently added to Escape From Tarkov in patch .12. Although it's always an exciting time whenever we get our hands on some new weapons, the ASH-12 is special because it's the first weapon in Tarkov that has a 50 caliber cartridge. Even though that the ASH-12 shoots a large bullet, its velocity is slower, meaning it's not going to be carrying as much penetration power as some of the other rifles in the game. In the late metagame, lower pen rounds are typically tossed aside because they're not reliable against heavily armed enemies. But the ASH-12 does have one round, the PS-12B, that can kill players in Class 4 body armor and can effectively kill other players with Class 5 and Class 6 with multiple shots. Because the ASH-12 doesn't have as much pen rating as some of the other rounds in the game, it makes up for it in damage. Its standard round, the PS-12, does 115 damage per shot with 25 pen. 25 penetration basically means that it's suitable at going through Class 3 body armors, but it may not go through all the time. And it will be able to go through Class 4, but you're going to have to fire multiple shots to get the job done. That high damage is going to be dampened significantly through body armor, which means this round isn't going to be very good in the late metagame. Now, the ASH-12 can be fired in both semi-automatic and full automatic, but honestly, because of how big the round is, it carries some insane vertical and horizontal recoil. So just take a look for yourself on the firing range, full auto ASH-12. As you can see, it's very difficult to control, even if you were to put any sort of recoil reduction grips on there. A few rounds will hit on target where you're initially aiming, but the vast majority will spread out way too far to really have any sort of reliable impact. But I guess with the ASH-12, especially if you're using the armor piercing rounds, you're really only looking for 1 or 2 hits in most situations anyway, so if you're willing to drain an entire mag, I guess you might be able to score a kill. So now that you know a little bit more about the ASH-12, you're probably wondering how you can get your hands on it in Escape From Tarkov. Currently, the ASH-12 is one of the least accessible weapons in the game because you are unable to purchase it directly from dealers with money, but you are able to buy one from the flea market from other players, or unlock a barter through Prapor by completing a quest called Regulated Materials. And you can also get the ASH-12 by killing the reserve scab boss, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Regulated Materials is actually unlocked when you complete the quest Polycum Hobo, and that quest is unlocked whenever you accept Chemical Part 1 from Skier. So it used to be that optional quest where you had to go into customs to kill 25 scavengers, and Prapor would give you information on where you could potentially find the chemical document. That now directly leads into Regulated Materials, or at least that's how it worked for me. So definitely a strange way to unlock the quest. But anyway, Regulated Materials, you have to go into reserve to find 10 QFZ 30mm shells and 1 tank battery. That's right, you gotta find them in raid, you can't just buy them on the flea market. Now, the OFZ shells are actually really easy to find, and unless you have competition from player scavengers or other players beating you to all of the tanks and bunkers on the map, you should be leaving the raid with at least 1, possibly 2. Now, there's 2 hotspots for tanks, but from what I've seen, behind any tank, any type of tank on the entire map works for this. The shells will spawn around or directly behind the tank itself. So there's hotspots in the northeastern side of the map where anti-air tanks are with bunkers and rolling hills, and then the southwestern corner with regular and non-anti-air tanks with regular T9s behind those frequently have the shells, and that's where I've primarily found mine. Now keep in mind, behind all these tanks is also the potential for a tank battery, but tank batteries also spawn in different areas of the map. Now besides finding them behind or around tanks, there are 2 locations that I have personally found tank batteries. The first is around the hermetic door extraction. In that entire bunker area above the motor pool, there's shelves and tables around trucks. I found a tank battery there, and I also found a tank battery in the tank mechanic shop, which is on the map. It is near the rook symbol if you're looking at a map. In the lower left side of the rook, inside that building is a tank and also lots of mechanical tables. On those tables have the potential to spawn tank batteries. I've also heard that if you have a key in the motor pool, those gated areas also have the potential for a tank battery. But basically, think anywhere a mechanic would potentially work on a tank is a good place for the tank battery to spawn. Now, if you get really good at finding tank batteries, they sell to therapists for 250K without listing it on the flea market or anything. So they can actually make you some decent money if you find a lot of them. Now, because I play on really populated servers, I'm gonna have a lot of competition, and it took me about 15 reserve raids before I was able to get all the shells and the tank batteries required to complete this mission. But once I did, I turned them in and I unlocked the ability to barter for the ASH-12 at Prep War level 4. Just a heads up, you will be able to get this quest before you are able to actually get Prep War level 4, so it might be one that you want to hold off on grinding out until you're the proper level. But either way, that's how you unlock the ASH-12. Now, unfortunately, you are not able to buy it from the dealers with money. You're going to have to do a barter, and those items come from the reserve map as well. You're going to be looking for 2 military gyrotachometers. Now, thankfully, there is a hotspot for this, but these do have the potential to spawn all over the military base, on rooftops near satellites, but primarily in the aerospace building in the western side of the map. So you want to go to the area that has the large helicopter, and in that square on the eastern side, you'll see a building that says "Welcome to Hell." In that building, there's going to be lots of server rooms, and on those servers, in those rooms, have the potential to spawn all sorts of military technology, including the pieces that we need. Don't forget to check the garage in the back because it is the highest count of servers that potentially spawn the military tech. As you can see in this video, that's where I found both of mine sitting on top of each other. Now, if you don't want to find the items yourself, that's completely okay because many people are now doing loot runs in this particular area to sell the military technology. So you can actually buy an ASH-12 based off the market price of 2 of these military pieces for about 95,000 rubles. Or if you don't have access to the barter, the ASH-12 typically sells anywhere between 120 to 140,000 rubles. But keep in mind, if you're buying it from the flea market and you're not the right level, you're not going to have access to the magazines reliably, and you're not going to have access to the ammunition reliably. So using this weapon is going to be extremely expensive, and there's probably better options for you out there until you complete this barter and all these missions. Now, the last way to get an ASH-12 besides just killing another player for one is taking out the Scab Boss on reserve. But be warned, his guards are almost more of a challenge than he is. They're very heavily armored and heavily gunned, lots of great modified weapons. In fact, the guards are actually a great way to make money if you can actually kill them all. And one of the ways that you're going to have to kill them is really get to close the distance and just not stand out in the open. That's the way I did that here. I used the train carts to my advantage, but luckily I was wearing a forearmor at the time, and if I wasn't, I may have not have survived that. I also got really lucky that they literally just like walked into my line of sight, so made it a little bit more easy than some of the other attempts that I've had at killing the boss. But either way, you can kill Glukar or Gluhar, however you pronounce it, and he will have an ASH-12. Take it, but it honestly might not be the best gun given all the other weapons that his friends are going to have too. So now that you know every single way that you can get your hands on the weapon, you're probably wondering, how does it stack up against other players? In this raid, I'm taking out the ASH-12 suppressed with a Valde. We are using the armor-piercing PS-12B rounds, which is going to help us kill players wearing class 4 and above body armors. And I wanted to put a Valde on the weapon to see how accurate it is with semi-automatic at range, to see the potential for like a subsonic VSS style sniper with the ASH-12. And here are the results. Uh-oh. Well, he's hurt. But he's using a suppressed SKS, so this is not good. I feel like I'm gonna have to push behind him. Yeah, we're gonna have to keep moving. Yeah, it's like a 12-7 projectile, but yeah, it's not like a 50 cal. Uh-oh. Didn't bring a surgery kit. Or a splint. Yeah, I think for this part of the game, the standard, what is it? The PS-12 just standard rounds would probably be like super powerful. We're using the, unfortunately, we're using the like armor piercing, which does like great AP. It does 40 AP, but it does 90 damage, which is still really good, but it's more comparable to like a Mosin shot, like a very slow Mosin shot. So I feel like with 25 AP, does like over 100 damage. It probably would be pretty good. For right now. For right now. SVD? Those guys are really geared, and there's 3 of them. We killed the more geared guy, though. One of them's dead, but there's like 2 more alive. I wasn't expecting this many people. Should probably repack my mags, too. I haven't done that yet. Hold on, I'm gonna try to repack. And I also need to apply my painkillers again. Damn it, where is this guy? He's somewhere prone in the bushes. But there's 2. There's 2 more guys. It's not 1, it's 2, I'm pretty sure. Did I actually kill 2? That guy's dead. Oh. And now that guy's dead. But is there another one? I suspect there's another one. All dead? I don't know. I feel like there's a third. Because, like, we witnessed the dude run. And we were getting shot at. You know what I'm saying? So, that's 2. You can't just, like... I think there's 1. But it's possible we killed 3. I just don't know. Oh! No, could have just been 2. Makes more sense. The shots weren't at us. They were at that scab when he was running down the hill. But we still don't know where the SKS guy is. With the 3M body armor that we shot at initially. He was using painkillers because we shot his legs off. Okay, I want to say we're good. SKS guy. Damn, these guys. Rolling hard for level 14. That's crazy. Integrity Farms. Integrity. There's a pilgrim, but we're good. I don't need it. Integrity Farms. $300,000 Integrity Farms. Dude's got an SVD in his fucking hands. Dude, I think that was him. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure that was him. He had the jacket on. Where's his boys?
How's this patch going for Ya Deadly?
GG, Startman. So that shows you a wide range of different armor classes that the ASH-12 was going up against. Unarmored targets, slightly armored targets, heavily armored targets, and even a scab boss. And in all situations, the weapon did just fine, but the recoil is the most difficult part of this gun. Staying in semi-automatic is crucial, but it also sort of feels like the SR-1MP pistol, where even in semi-automatic, if you shoot it too quickly, you might not be as accurate as you'd like to be. So, although the ASH-12 is a really great gun and the first 12.7 cartridge weapon that we have in Escape from Tarkov, I do think in the meta game, it's just not going to be as good as, say, an AK or M4 when it comes to fighting against opponents. But it sure is a really cool gun, extremely effective against medium armored targets and scavengers, and one that I can see that a lot of people enjoying using a little bit, or using for something a little bit different instead of just running their M4 all the time. Well, anyways, guys, that's my thoughts and opinions and how to unlock the ASH-12 in Escape from Tarkov. If you found this video helpful or informative, definitely subscribe here for some more Escape from Tarkov videos, and check out the live streams Monday through Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.